It's the most wonderful time of the year, almost. Let's not be in a rush to be done with November. It did give us the opportunity to big up our parents, support our youth, celebrate the farmers and so many others who make our little island so special. But of course, tomorrow is the start of the holy Yuletide Christmas season. Call it what you will. It's when we all embrace family and festivities. Our Wednesday show package is a worthy start to the season, but right now it's still Tuesday, still November, and we have important things to discuss. So stay right there. I'm Adrian Atkinson, and you're watching Jamaica Magazine. We take a short break, then it's time for the news of the day.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, November 30. The Ministry of Health and Wellness says it has implemented a raft of measures geared at ending AIDS in Jamaica. Acting Senior Medical Officer in the HIV-STI-TB unit, Dr. Alicia Rob Allen, says approximately 15 of the 32,000 persons estimated to be living with HIV and AIDS in Jamaica are receiving care at a treatment site. Dr. Rob Allen was speaking at a JIS think tank on Friday.
Of those, that 15,000 population, there are persons who are on antiretrovirals. And antiretrovirals are medications that are used basically to ensure that persons who have HIV will have a decreased viral load, which makes them less susceptible to progressing to AIDS and also contracting any other illnesses, which would make them more likely succumb to death.
Dr. Rob Allen says there are 44 treatment sites as well as self-testing through the National Family Planning Board. She highlights another prevention modality that has been added to the ministry's offerings,
which is pre-exposure prophylaxis, not to be confused with PEP. So pre-exposure prophylaxis allows persons who are at high risk based on their sexual profile or their sexual behavior to access antiretrovirals to prevent transmission of HIV from their sexual partners. Additionally, it also allows persons who are in relationships with other persons who are positive, who are looking to have children, to decrease the possibility of them transmitting HIV to their partner, one, and two, also to their unborn child.
Jamaica joins in observing World AIDS Day on December 1 under the theme End Inequalities, End AIDS, End Pandemics. In support of government's continued efforts to develop the ICT capacity of Jamaicans, 29 students are the latest recipients of the Huawei Seeds for the Future program. The students benefited from an 8-day online program which included access to advanced technologies used by Huawei, trending businesses, and cultural awareness. The participants were each given a program graduation certificate from Huawei Technologies during a ceremony last Friday. Member of Parliament for East Rural St. Andrew Juliet Holness thanked Huawei for its support as she made the point that ICT was bridging the global divide in technology for Jamaica.
China appreciates that it is necessary to take us along that journey. And you have invested a lot in terms of resources. You have literally created an imaginary bridge to China in how you have extended yourself and companies have extended themselves to training and developing Jamaicans.
The overall participating class for this year consisted of 112 students from Ghana, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, and Suriname. Meanwhile, to expand the program, Jamaica has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Huawei Technologies. This is to establish a learning platform at the University of the West Indies, UWI, and the University of Technology Jamaica, UTech, under the Jamaica ICT Talent Hub Initiative program. This initiative will be carried out under the slogan, Cultivate ICT Talents and Build Industry Connections. It will see Huawei identifying and recruiting individuals to develop Jamaica as an ICT talent center of the Caribbean region. The company will provide the ICT equipment, course and platform resources and scholarships valued at $4 million each year to UWI and UTech students in the program.
It is a true incubator experience for our young people, allowing them to expand their skills and develop their understanding in a global technology digital marketplace. By planting these seeds of opportunity, Huawei is contributing to national building by supporting critical development areas.
Huawei proposed a strategy to build a Jamaican ICT talent hub based on the main ICT technology directions and the Jamaican's industry development status, and improve the national ICT talent training system. Continuously develop ICT talent for the Caribbean. Being living in Jamaica for about 1 year, I have seen how much potential we have in this island, especially with the young generation.
Under the program, Jamaican students will also be given internship opportunities to learn ICT in China and participate in technological trend literacy improvement courses with the intention to reform our university ICT curriculum system. The National Solid Waste Management Authority NSWMA says there will be a steady increase in garbage collection leading up to the Christmas holiday. Executive Director Audley Gordon says this will include night collection.
We are prepared to be out there as late as possible. We'll be keeping our landfills open for extra hours. As we get into the meat of the season, we will be working closely with the police to ensure that we can get that security coverage to work late nights.
Mr. Gordon says the agency will also be working with the different municipal corporations and members of parliament on bulky waste removal. He's imploring vendors and shoppers to containerize their solid waste for a much easier and faster removal process.
It is important that, notwithstanding the fact that it's Christmas and we are having a good time, that we remember that we must still properly containerize our garbage. If we just shop and just vend and we don't care about containerization, it makes it more challenging for us to move the garbage. It's already challenging, and when the excess garbage come upon us, if we don't get the cooperation, it makes it even more difficult. I'm beseeching each and every one to play their part to help us to deliver the clean Christmas that we all desire.
Mr. Gordon was speaking at a press briefing following the agency's board member retreat on the weekend. And finally, for the next 5 weeks, traffic along the Benson Ford roadway in St. Andrew will be restricted to carry out repairs to the Ford. The work, which began on Saturday, includes the construction of concrete pavements at both approaches. In a press release, the National Works Agency NWA says traffic arrangements for Shortwood Road have been modified to accommodate the roadworks. It says the corridor in the vicinity of the Ford will not be closed but will allow for single-lane traffic. However, access to the corridor entering from Shortwood Road, where the work is happening, has been closed. Motorists may opt to use an alternative route, which includes Norbrook Road and Oliver Road. They're also being advised to observe the instructions of flagged persons and posted warning signs. And that's it for JI's News Today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
For those of us who do not believe that COVID is real and that it is here, have you been to one of those hospitals where the wards are overflowing with patients who are trying to breathe and talk at the same time but find it so impossible to do so? Or have you seen someone die in front of you trying to make the next breath to stay alive? So my fellow Jamaicans and colleagues, whether you believe it or not, COVID is real. So I implore you, social distance. Wash your hands, wear your mask, sanitize. Along with that, we need to keep our immune system nice and healthy, so you drink lots of water, eat your fruits and vegetables. But whether we believe it or not, COVID is here, it is here to stay, it's going to be the new norm. And remember, when you behave irresponsible, you expose all of us. So do the responsible thing.
From linking the deal on a major road infrastructure program to making arrangements for a new COVID vaccine, it's been a busy week for the Prime Minister and his team at Jamaica House. Let's see what else unfolded since the last time we visited the office of the Prime Minister.
Prime Minister signed $274.5 million contract for Montego Bay Perimeter Road project, announces winner in low-cost housing design competition, and secures 200,000 doses of Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccine. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Dante Matthews.
Today is yet another manifestation of the government's commitment to providing affordable, sustainable, and climate-resilient housing solutions for our most needy, for our hard-working citizens, and for our indigent citizens.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness last week Tuesday as he announced the winners of the government's low-cost housing design competition. In addition to a $50,000 honorable mention prize, the top 3 winners in the 1, 2 or 3 bedrooms and tenement yard categories walked away with between $250,000 and $1 million. Prime Minister Holness says the designs will be used to fast-track housing construction on government projects, including the National Social Housing Program.
And I'm hoping that from this design competition and government building out these solutions right across Jamaica, we can then start to stimulate and inspire people who are building to change the way in which they are building. And that will have a signal effect right across the country.
On Tuesday afternoon, Mr. Holness successfully brought a motion in the House of Representatives to extend the states of public emergency SOEs in 7 police divisions across Jamaica.
We have an emergency. We have criminals who are brazen and who are resourced. Madam Speaker, when we have a situation where an internationally sponsored peace training event is taking place in Westmoreland, and someone, a youngster, can walk into that training session in the open view of everyone and kill another youngster. Isn't that an emergency?
The lower house approved the motion, but the Senate did not secure enough votes during its sitting on Thursday. The SOEs in Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, and the corporate area divisions of St. Andrews South, Kingston Eastern, Kingston Western, and Kingston Central expired on Sunday. Word also came Tuesday that Prime Minister Andrew Holness had shifted portfolio responsibility for the Clarendon Alumina Production Limited, CAP. The entity, which was previously under the Ministry of Transport and Mining, is now being supervised by the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. There have been calls in recent times for government to provide financial support to CAP because of the separated nature of the Jamalco joint venture and the unfavorable global market conditions. In a release, Mr. Holness says the change in administration will ensure that the transformation of Jamalco to a combined joint venture continues without disruption. He says it will also eliminate any financial risk. The Finance Ministry has been providing funding and strategic guidance to the Jamalco Incorporation project, and several milestones have already been achieved. Government currently holds 45% interest in the Jamalco refinery through CAP, while the Noble Group owns the other 55%. On Wednesday, the Prime Minister signed a contract with the People's Republic of China to secure 200,000 doses of Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccine brings to 4 the number of brands available to the island's inoculation program. Half of the doses are a gift from the Chinese government, while the remaining doses will be paid for by the Jamaican government. At the handover ceremony, Mr. Holness touted the reliable partnership Jamaica has shared with the Asian giant, providing much-needed medical supplies and other resources.
These greatly appreciated Sinopharm vaccines also demonstrate the value of the evolving relationship which Jamaica shares with China and is in keeping with collective efforts to respond to an ever-changing environment as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Wednesday also saw the Prime Minister signing a $274.5 million contract with China Harbour Engineering Company, CHEC, for the construction of the long-awaited Montego Bay Perimeter Road project. The government-funded project is being overseen by the National Road Operating Company, NROC, and will comprise several components. They include the Barnett Street West Green Avenue Road rehabilitation, the Long Hill Bypass, and a comprehensive drainage study of the Montego Bay Bypass. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says a critical feature of the road's design is its resilience against natural disasters such as flooding.
The roads that we're constructing there, in terms of this bypass and addressing Long Hill, strategically moves our roadways inland, and that was strategically done. The path that was chosen for the road was strategically done because we have to consider the impact of climate change, particularly sea level rise, on our infrastructure.
The new highway will accommodate broadband cables, water mains and drainage, and is expected to ease travel in urban space while increasing opportunities for tourism. Prime Minister Holness says the contract with Czech stipulates that the contractor uses a minimum of 90% Jamaican labour for unskilled construction work. The contract will also ensure that at least 50% of the technical works must be done by skilled Jamaican workers. Czech will also collaborate with the Heart NSDA Trust to develop and implement a training program for the transfer of knowledge and technology. And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Dante Matthews. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
We need trees if we are to be able to live on this planet. So I want to encourage you to join and partner with the My Tree Legacy Promotion and support your alma mater. For me, St. Peter and Paul, Campion College, University of West Indies, roll out and plant some trees.
Register your alma mater for the Forestry Department's My Tree Legacy Promotion and be a part of the preservation of Jamaica, land we love. Let us highlight your contribution. Submit videos or pictures of you leaving your mark. Every tree counts. Plant a tree today and keep climate change away.
We need all Jamaicans to know that child abuse is not just an issue for the government. It's an issue for all Jamaicans. So we need everybody to help us to protect our children. If you know of a child who is being victimized, a child who is abused or neglected, just make that report so we can get that child the help they need. Calling or reporting is easy. All you have to do is remember to call 211. If you are an adult, if you are a child, if you are in church, in your community group, wherever you are, once you are aware there's a child who is in need of care and protection, just be the one and call 211.
Before closing the curtain on November, we pay tribute to two groups of people this month has celebrated: our youth and our farmers. Youth in agriculture is a topic that never gets old. Watch this.
Me and my sister got started when we were very young. I think I was 6 or something around that age. And my mom had 4 hives. And that is the beginning of success.
The name of our family business is Maccabee Enterprise. Here at Maccabee Enterprise, we are all beekeepers, down to my 9-year-old sister, Camila.
Working with the bees is nice. It's less challenging than back in the days. Don't want to sound too old. It is fun now. I am more confident. Yeah. It is calming, soothing. Takes you out of this world, bring in another. So it's fun. It's actually fun. My role here on the farm is using an extractor To extract honey, there are many ways. I will be explaining 2 ways. First is the professional method, where you use an extractor. So you have a capping knife, a knife with like a serrated edge, and you would uncap, which is a thin sheet of wax on top of the comb with the honey inside. So it's like a seal. So you use a knife and uncap that. Then you put it in the extractor and spin it, and it would flash out on the side of the extractor and drain to the bottom, and then you leak it out into a bucket. The other way is, well, when you don't have an extractor, is that you would use a capping fork, or you could use a regular fork, and you would hold the frame like this, long way, and you'd use the fork and gently scrape the frame. So you're taking off the comb, you're removing the comb from the frame in a sense, but you'd have on the frame there is a sheet of wax that we would put on as beekeepers foundation, so it would guide the bees, like it would guide the bees to build more small cells that would get more workers in the hive.
From the bees, we get 5 main products, right? We have pollen, propolis, beeswax, honey, and royal jelly. So based on those 5 things, we actually think about what we can do with those 5 things. So in beekeeping, we actually have honey flow periods and we have dirt season. Those are the 2 main periods. In between, we have like a pre-flow and pre-dirt, basically. But okay, so in our honey season, that's the time when they're on production. They're bringing in their honey, their pollen, everything up on top. But for like in St. Thomas, there's like a 6-month period where there's dirt. There's no honey, no much honey that we can reap. There's just enough for them to feed themselves and their babies and be able to stay alive. In the dirt period, when there's not enough honey for us to harvest and be able to sell, we do things like remove our old combs and boil it out, and we get wax. With the wax, we do like the body butters, we do candles, lip conditioner. So that's the wax. With the pollen, we actually collect the pollen, and the pollen is a very good multivitamins. So we actually collect the pollen and dry it and package it for sale. For the royal jelly, we don't do a lot of work with the royal jelly. As we go along, we are actually developing products. So for the royal jelly right now, we put it in our honey wine. And then again, the honey wine is made from honey. My involvement in making the byproducts are production. I do most of the labels. I have help, so I can't take all the credit, but most of the labels are from me. I do social media marketing, so most of the WhatsApp texts, Instagram, they might mostly be from me. My younger siblings' involvement in the business is some help with the production, so there is some small things like shredding the wax that they can do. They help with the bees as well, because we're homeschool and we kind of tag along with our parents right through and through. So with the bees and with production. And my younger sister, she's very artistic. So when I'm actually doing the labels, sometimes she would draw this beautiful picture and I would actually use that as part of the label.
I have 4 personal hives for myself. I have 3 long struts, which is the regular kind of box that you would see that holds 10 frame, and they would stack on one on top of the other. And I have 1 top bar, which is a 30 frame box, which goes a long way, and it only has a top bar. It doesn't have the top bar with the square. It doesn't have a frame, it's just the top bar. My advice to other youth interested in beekeeping is you have to be persistent. and you have to be confident, and you have to be committed to beekeeping.
Beekeeping can be very wide. You don't have to just stuck with the bees, the sting, the honey. There is so much more that you can do. You can do candles. There is actually a shortage of beeswax candles. And beeswax candles are very easy. You mold, you wick, your color if you need, and you're done. Lip conditioner is another easy one. And if you go online, just take some of your time out of your texting and just research some products that you can actually do from the products that you get from the bees. The 5 products I mentioned, there's so much more.
In terms of making shopping safe, shop online, and when shopping in stores, stay 6 feet apart from others and make sure you're wearing your mask. And make sure you check yourself for symptoms before leaving home. So if you're ill, please stay home and don't go out shopping at this point in time. For persons who we know are more vulnerable and at high risk, shop early or ask someone to pick up items for you in the store. Use curbside pickup and delivery options if that is available and feasible for you. For our businesses, we know you expect increased pedestrian traffic. Make sure your hand sanitization station is accessible, easily accessible, especially immediately on entry to your business. Make sure you're enforcing physical distancing, not only within the business space itself, but outside. Offer online and telephone services as much as possible for as many services as possible within your business. Offer delivery services if that is an option. Have options for short interactions to be expedited, and make sure you have reminders of the infection prevention and control measures within your business so that you can remind your clients of what is expected.
Okay, that will do it for us here on this Tuesday edition of Jamaica Magazine, the last in November. The last day in November. I hope the month has lived up to whatever dreams you had, and here's to hoping December brings you nothing but prosperity. Keep watching Jamaica Magazine every day on this station, or go to our website, jis.gov.jm. We even have a YouTube channel. Information literally at your fingertips. Speaking of, follow us on all the socials. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson. It's been a pleasure. Remember to keep your distance, wear a mask, wash your hands regularly, and get vaxxed. Till next time, do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.